Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new episode of Lifestyle with Dr. Moby. I'm Dr. Moby, and today we have a renowned author, Michelle Dewitt. Let's welcome Michelle. How are you, Michelle?
I am doing great. I'm doing great. Honored to be on your show today.
And we are honored too. Highly acclaimed author. And let's check her work. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have written a book. The name of the book is called I've Been There. A lot of times when we speak with people and they can concur what you're talking about, they'll say, I've been there.
Mm.
So with my book, I've Been There, I share my story from childhood to current. What an autobiography is what it is. In regards to some things that happened in my life from childhood, like I said, up until now. I went through a lot of changes, and my hope is that when people purchase my book, they will be able to see that there's always victory on the other side. I am also the executive director of Unbreakable Faith Incorporated. We offer services to youth and young adults that need mentorship, that have been through sexual abuse and trauma.
Mhm. Wow, that's amazing work. And then a lot of things had to you know come together in as people like you who put it together for everybody. That's amazing work, amazing work. So tell me a little bit about your journey. How did it start?
It started with a friend of mine. Um, as far as writing the book, she said that I always share my story, that I need to write it down and tell people in a book. I needed to reach more people than I had just conversating with people.
Mhm.
So I decided to tell my story about being molested at a very
Mhm.
young age,
Mhm.
and dealing with being raped as a teenager, um,
Mhm.
and going out in the street because of the horrific things that happened in my life. I went
Mhm.
out into the streets and looking for love because of the situation.
Mhm. I'm so sorry to bring that topic, and I'm sure that brings a lot of your memories and trauma.
No, I'm actually doing well. That's why I have the organization to share my story. I am not a person that is sad or anything. I'm actually glad to tell people. A lot of people are not where I am, and they're fearful, and they are scared and angry and anxious.
Mhm.
And I want them to know that, again, that there is hope on the other side.
Mhm.
So I moved forward from there to once my book was published, I felt comfortable, I felt relieved and free. So I started my organization about 2 years ago, Unbreakable Faith, and it's named that not so much for religion or anything like that. It's just to let people know everybody works and operates in some sort of faith.
Mhm.
People have faith that they're going to get to their job. People have faith that when they get home, the house is going to be the way that they left it.
Mhm.
Everybody has that. And so I want people to know that my faith has not been broken because of the situations in my life. And so my organization helps out youth and young adults. And I chose that group because it happened to me in my young years,
Mhm.
and I want them to know that they do have an advocate, they do have a voice, because I did not have one growing up. I did not. I didn't
Mhm.
get counseling. I didn't have any anyone to come and say, "Hey, I'm going to give you this voice." And
Mhm.
that's what I want to do.
Mhm. So that is, I think, a great cause. What you're doing is kind of bringing best for everyone, and that is
Yes.
amazing. So tell me a little bit about, when you deal with different age groups, which age group you find they need more help or they're more vulnerable.
The age group that I deal with is 12 to 17, and that age group is the age group that are more vulnerable. I also work with 18 to 22, but in that particular age group, they are because of social media. Social media is out there and it's good, and it also is not so good. And another thing is the mobile computer that's in our hands.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they are constantly on them, and people can easily come and creep in and talk with them. And they're so naive. They think that from that age group, the smaller age group, they think that everybody's their friend, and they're not. And it's a hard thing to get them to see that it's not what you think. Everything is not golden. So with that age group, that smaller age, I would say between 12 to um, that 12 to 15 in that area, you really have to really work hard and be diligent in what you're sharing with them. When I talk with that age group in regards to sex trafficking, for instance, I talk about that as well. So many of our youth, male and female, have been sex trafficked and gone through that. And parents have a lot to deal with because they have gone through so much trauma. And I talk with them to let them know the processes of looking for a predator, looking for someone to sell. And I talk to them about it on their level. I don't get too deep with them, but I do share scenarios. We do skits, I have games, and I bring it out that way so that that age group can comprehend it and grasp what I am saying. I'm very good with that. I work with youth all my life. I worked in the local school system here, and I've been there for like 20 years. I've dealt with all age groups from kindergarten all the way up to high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very good with that. And a lot of parents like how I am gentle with them and bringing out the information.
Yeah, I'm glad you're really doing the best for this age group. So also tell me a little bit, what is your experience, whether you find more male versus female, or does it matter?
Of course, it's a lot more females in that because that's only because there is not a large report of males sharing their stories. I'm quite sure that there are more,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't come out. So we do deal with mostly females. And a lot of times I found out that the parents or the caregivers that have brought that child in or that teenager in for mentorship from our organization, they've
Mm-hmm.
shared with us in a comfortable place that they've been through some trauma as well. And in that situation with that particular caregiver and that child, we already offer services for the child to receive mentorship. We have volunteer counselors and talking with the police station, dealing with them, working with CMPD. We also, with that parent or that caregiver, also offer them resources as well so they can start their journey to victory. That trauma has triggered something in them and they feel that they're hopeless and here we go again. And they're all shaken up as to what to do next. How can I handle this? Because I didn't want this to happen to them and it's happening now. I worked, I volunteered at the juvenile justice system here in Charlotte, and I went in to talk to these young gentlemen. They were like from the age um, 13 up to
Mm-hmm.
16, and this I had sessions with them, 4 sessions with them, and they did not know a lot of things when it came down to talking about predators, sex trafficking, uh, trauma, and sexual dating abuse and violence. So once we got into talking about it, um, the sessions, they were very open about some things they realized that was happening in the home as far as abuse. And one young man did tell me in my ear that he had been molested.
Mm-hmm.
And I let him know that I was going to let one of the officers know that he needed counseling, so he could move forward. And I also, in that same facility, I was able to talk to some of the females. In this situation, it was more males to talk to versus females. I only had one session with the females because it was only 7 of them compared to how many um, guys were there. There were so
Yeah.
many, I was able to do several sessions with them. But it does happen to both male and female, the sex trafficking as well. A lot of times the males don't want to come forth because they are fearful that people
Mm-hmm.
will say that they're gay or they asked for it or they liked it or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, and that's sad. You're right because it can exist in both sexes. So tell me a little bit about sex trafficking. I know we touched it, and you said at one point you felt that you need to go out and seek love, or you were looking for love. Okay, do you think
Right.
that have can play a role in people uh, getting into this sex trafficking thing?
Well, with the sex trafficking is it is of course slavery. That's basically what it is.
Mhm.
It's human slavery, which is totally against the law and dealing with torture of the person, causing violence. With the sex trafficking, as I stated earlier, there are predators grooming. They want to know if this child comes from a stable home. If they have a stable home, then hands off. I don't want you. If this child is dealing with a single parent home, then and it seems to be a little unstable. They need some things. They're dealing with lack of the basic needs, such as clothing or washing powders to wash clothes, things of that nature. And that child, they know that that child's coming to the mall and they have a desire to get certain things and they're hanging out with this group of kids, but they can tell the demeanor of that child to go and prompt them to let them know, hey, I seen you and I've talked to some of your friends, and they haven't even talked to anyone's friends. And then they offer to buy things. What youth doesn't want a new pair of shoes? What youth doesn't want some jewelry? Or what youth doesn't want to have money in their pocket? If you're going to offer me those things, then I want you to be my friend. I want you to share that with me, and I'm looking for you to love on me. And the material things is what they give out, and they tell them it's because I love you that I'm doing this. So now that I'm doing this for you, I need you to do something for me. And so it starts there and then it transitions over where now you've gotten them by themselves and they're no longer in a public place. They're now meeting you at the park, or they're meeting you um, at the movie theater, or down, going downtown or whatever. They're meeting you into different places. And then eventually the next step is for them to move you on a trip. You're going to go on a trip, and they put you in a vehicle and they take you wherever they want to take you, because now you belong to them. Your body is now their body, and they will tell you that I paid for your body. When you were getting all those things, I paid for that. And so they take them and they start setting up where they will have sex with males and females. It doesn't matter. Um, Whoever they get paid for, and they get paid per child. This child has no idea what's happening. They sometimes give them drugs so that they'll be able to continue having that. relationship with, it's not even a relationship, so that they can be zoned out. So when the next person come in, they just have that mindset of, I don't care. And even if you do care, you're so zoned out, um, you can't even stress how you don't like it because you're on drugs,
Mm.
and it happens over and over again. And so it's very sad. A lot of times the youth are not returned back to their parents, and that's what makes it sad. It's
Mm.
very sad.
That's true. And I think this is, I mean, even hearing all this is just give me goosebumps, and it's very scary. So,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, it exists, and there are people like that. And in which part in U.S. you have seen the highest, or do you know the census?
As far right now, since as far as North Carolina, I do know here that we're number 9 as far as sex trafficking. And it's because we're right here at 85, 95. You can, where the most highways are, that's where the sex trafficking can take place, because it's pop out, pop in, pop out. You're going to grab the child and you're going to go and hit the highway and keep it moving. That's so, yeah, the last time I looked at the census, it was North Carolina. We were number 9 at that time.
And some things which we can do to make it better, or do you know?
Yeah. What I ask anyone that is listening, if you know that a child is acting different, and there are signs, if you're a teacher in a classroom and you know that child is starting to shut down, or there's something uniquely different about them, then you need to really monitor that. Ask them questions: is everything going on right at home? Let other people know in the system. Let them know, principal, social worker, parent advocate. Let them know that you notice something's going on, so that they can put an eye on them. And the same thing with parents. If you know that your child is normally giggly, conversational with you, and now you have Johnny in the room, and Johnny's now starting to shut down and close the door. He seems like that he's being sneaky. You want to watch out for the different signs when it comes down to the children. Monitoring social media when it comes down to your children, with monitoring social media. I know that parents want to give their children, allow them to be free and give them that little leeway, but we're still parents as well too. So we have to make sure that we are monitoring them on social media, because now predators have gotten real easy and comfortable with going on social media to attract that attention that they're looking for. So I
Yeah.
encourage anyone that may suspect or have an idea that something's going on. If someone has a bad attitude and you know that this person's not like that, they're yelling, they become very vulgar with you, then you need to look into what's really going on.
Mm. Okay, and that is, I think, a great tip you have shared. Thank you for doing that. Also, if you can also summarize your final thoughts, and then we can wrap it up.
Oh, yes, absolutely. My thoughts in regards to having a good life is to make sure that you share with people your journey. Tell them, um, like I'm doing, share your journey with people in order for you to be successful in life. Be honest with your own self. A lot of times we say, to thy own self be true. So that's what you need to do. I really enjoyed talking with you today, and take a lot of deep breaths. I want to tell people to take a lot of deep breaths, and it's going to move. Everything is going to be all right.
That's true, and that's so true. We need help with everybody, and with everybody's participation. What I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and also I think whatever we can do at our level, that's what counts the most. Thank you once again for great tips and sharing your journey. and where people can find you or check your blog or something. Can you share that?
Okay. Yeah, sure. You can find me at, I have a website. It's called Unbreakable Faith. You can go to my website. It's U as in unicorn, N as in Nancy, B as in Bob, R as in rabbit, F as in faith, T as in Tom, and H as in Harry. And you could key that in. Unbreakable Faith is the initials of it.com. You can email me the same, Unbreakable Faith at gmail.com. I am on Instagram as author underscore Dewitt. And also, my book can be purchased. I've been there. You can purchase my book at dewittsdelight.company.site. It's my last name, Dewitt, with an I'm sorry, Dewitt with the delights with an S on the end. .company.site, and you can purchase my book from there.
Okay, well, thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you again. You take care and good night.
Thank you.